Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Going to the blog post I want to share with you, of course, review the latest in social media and technology. Be sure to tune in and subscribe to all of our channels. And we have all the major phone companies sending us phones to review and do comparisons with. So you definitely want to be in for that. This is from BoostMobile.com. BoostMobile.com. You may have heard of them. And they've got some great phones. They've got some wonderful little phones that are surprisingly cool. And this is the Samsung Galaxy Rush we're going to be reviewing today. You can go to the website at BoostMobile.com and check it out. And we're also going to be reviewing their Samsung Galaxy 2 that they have. So be sure to watch for that and search for it on the Chris Voss Show channels. The Samsung Galaxy Rush, let's talk about what this phone is about and what it does. It's a beautiful little compact phone. It's got the Samsung branding, of course, on it. We like the Samsung phones. They do very well on all the Android lines. The height of it is 4.84 inches. The width is 2.36 inches, and its depth is 0.47. It's a great little pocket phone. It's not bulky. It's perfectly fits in your hand. We really like it. Its weight is 4.2 ounces. Screen size is 3.5 touchscreen, so it's got a pretty good screen for the size of the phone. Battery talk time is 8 hours. 750 milliamp battery, which is a really good battery given the size of the phone. And the memory is 768 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of ROM, and it does support up to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. The processor is a 1 gigahertz processor. The phone comes with the Android 4.0 out of the box. I believe we have Android 4.04 on here. The back camera is a 3 megapixel camera with flash and video, and the front camera is a 1.3 front-facing camera. It is just a 3G phone, no 4G available on this phone. And let's see, 1 gigahertz processor, we covered that. So we're going to get into this little phone and see what it's all about and what makes it rock. You can see here, it's got pretty much your black face design. It's got a small speaker in the front for making calls, of course, listening to calls, I should say. Front-facing camera here. Down below, we have the capacitive touch screen where we have the menu, the home, and the back button. Now, it's really amazing given its little small size. It works pretty much just like any other bigger Android Samsung phone. It has a infinite swipe system to it. You can take a look at the menu drop down here. It's got the Samsung button bar where you can do quick settings here, of course, and everything else right from the notifications menu. Of course, you can also go into notifications if you so choose. Let's take a look at the back real quick. The back, you can see here, it's got a slick kind of aluminum back design. You've got a small speaker here, a eye for the camera, your lamp flash there, and the back takes and of course removes. So let's go ahead and pull that off. Nothing much to see here, but it is nice to be able to have the switchable battery where you can remove the battery and switch them out. You can see the speaker is much larger, of course, when you remove the back. Let's take a look around the device. Here you can see on the top we have a earphone jack. We have your power button. Down the left-hand side, we have a volume rocker button here, and then we also have a hole for the micro SD card so that you can take and expand your memory. Across the bottom, we have your sync jack for charging and syncing, and then we also have a shutter button for the camera. Okay, so now here you can see the Geekbench 2 score came in at 503, and let's take a page down a little bit. You can, of course, pause this at any time. One of the great things about these apps is a lot of them are free on the App Store, and so that you can take and download them on your current device, and you can do some comparisons to see how well your current device performs against these phones and maybe help you in the decision process as to what phone might work best for you in the future. Okay, so here you can see we're using the Antutu Benchmark version 2.9.4, and it's come up with a pretty good score. 3394 is the score that it came up with. You can see the CPU integers, flow points, everything else there that it took and did. Pretty good for a little phone that's got some power to it. Okay, so here we're taking and using the the Quadrant standard test. You can see how the device performed. It looks like we scored 2231 on the benchmarking test. You can see it right here. And total CPU was 2175, memory 1417, and I/O is 5471, 2D 801, and 3D 1292. Okay, so this is the CF Pro 1.2 version test. This runs several different tests. I'll just page down here through the data. You can see we're running on 4.04 Android software, and it's been updated to the very latest available for an ice cream sandwich. You can see we've got an overall score of 2744, and we down here right below the HTC Sensation. Okay, so now you can see with the display tester the volume and brightness turned 100% all the way up. It's got great colors to it. The greens, yellows, light blues are coming out really well, as are the red, magentas, and purples. Great colorization screen. It's a Samsung device. Okay, this is the billion counter test, and it was able to count to 1 billion in 49.653 seconds. Okay, so here you can see the pass mark performance test. We scored 1,077 on the system. Let's page down here. Of course, on CPU test, we came in at 1278, and on disk test, we came in at 1933. On memory test, 1,332, 1826 on 2D graphic tests, and 3D graphic tests, 437. Okay, so this is the GPS satellite test. This tests how many different satellites the device can take and pick up, and how well it can get to within an accuracy of 10 feet, which is what most mobile phones can take and do at their best. In view, we're within 13 satellites it's picking up. It's using 10 of them, 10 to 11, and it's getting us to within accuracy of 10 feet. These here are the Velamo scores that took and got. You can see here it scored 1150 and 195 in the metal scoring section. A lot of this is HTML, JavaScript browser stuff. This is the browsermarkrightware.com website we're doing to measure the browser and the speed of the phone interacting with the browser. It came in with a score of 60,989. Okay, so here we have the SunSpider results, and of course what this does is this measures the performance of the browser, JavaScript, and the interactions of the phone. Lower score here is the better you want to take and have. It came in within 3920.9 milliseconds for the SunSpider score. This measures using the RL benchmark, the SQL-like performance on it, different inserts, drop tables, things of that nature, indexes. Basically got a score overall of 46.039. Here you can see the KFS benchmark test. This got us to an overall 22 frames per second, 22.180 frames per second. Basically, it measures the OpenGL 2.0 performance on the phone. Okay, so using the Antutu 3D rating benchmark score, it scored 3,119. Pretty good score. Okay, so this here we're using the Andy Bench app. This takes and measures native threads and Java threads and how fast the device can process them. You can see here that it did it in 716 on the native and 34 on the Java. Okay, so now let's take a look at the camera on the Galaxy Rush. The one thing about this is it's a very inexpensive camera. So you're not looking for a lot of features. You've got 3 megapixels on the back. It's got your normal stuff that you would find with Android. You can switch from front to back here, turn on your flash on and off, or have it optional. You got some shooting modes of single shot, smile shot, panorama. Let's go and then look at the settings. You've got settings, of course. You can edit some shortcuts, self-portrait, flash, shooting mode. You can choose between scene mode, where you can set up different scenes. Let's see if there's some scene modes that we have in here. Portrait, landscape. Whoops, sorry about that. Portrait, landscape. Looks like it chose night for us. Sports, party, indoor, beach, snow, sunset, dawn, fall cover, firework. Wow, it's got a lot. Text, candlelight, backlight. And so you can choose between those different ones as to which one might work best for you. Exposure value, focus mode, timer, effects, resolution, white balance, metering, guidelines, image quality, GPS tag, all these different things you can switch between. And of course you also have video and camera mode that you can take a switch between, and you can also switch between limit for MMS and normal. So you've got those different things you can take and do. Pretty much standard operating procedure with an Android phone. So we're looking at now the photos that we got out of the Samsung Galaxy Rush. They're fairly good. A 3 megapixel camera. There's some color lacking in the photos. Of course, you can do some after production for these things. Video is okay. It does a fair job on the video. I mean, you obviously are working with the 3 megapixel camera here, and most likely, camera may not be your big thing. This will do the basics of what you need to have it achieve when it comes to most smartphone cameras. Let's take a look at some other things. Now, one thing we notice is the shutter speed is very slow on it. You push the button, you've got to hold it in place for a while to get your shot. Otherwise, if you move or your subject moves, you have issues. Same thing in the dark. In the dark, the video was pretty good. It had a pretty good lamp to it where you can see us pan out and pan in. Actually held up pretty good for as small a phone it is. That had a pretty good lamp. You can see here we can light the roof of our storage area up and the shelves. So there you go. Colorization, a little weak on the colorization, but like I said, it's you're buying a phone that's priced at the point where it's going to be a value for what you're getting. You can see here's some completely dark photo shots where we're in the complete darkness and we're shooting, trying to capture as much color as we can off this box, which is okay. So night shots, it did okay. Night video did okay. The video on it is okay. And colorization on most of the photos, you may actually getting a better color pop off of the iPhone 5 that's recording this right now than you will off of the original photos that you would see on the device. So I would say that if you check out the device, make sure you play with the camera to do that. But all in all, it's a good little phone. You can't really knock it. It's got Samsung quality to it. It's got Android 4.0 quality to it, and it's a good rock and roll little phone. If this is in your budget, and Boost Mobile's programs where they have daily payments and monthly payments and all sorts of other things that they take and do that can fit people's financial status and budget, it makes a real makes a real great little phone. I mean, it's not a bad phone in any way, shape, or form. It's definitely Samsung quality. You find in a much bigger phone put into a much smaller phone, and there's some features that are rolled back a little. But other than that, it's just what you'd expect out of a bigger Samsung phone, just kind of squished down, shrunk down, if you will. So be sure to check it out. You can go to Boost Mobile, check out their Galaxy Rush product, the Galaxy Rush product. They have all sorts of different programs, monthly unlimited with shrinking payments. That sounds really cool to me. Unlimited talk, text, web, email, 411 with select plans. The thing is you can't get unlimited talking, text, and web hardly anymore with these bigger companies and what they're doing. So be sure to check out boostmobile.com. That's boostmobile.com. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. Chris Voss tested, Chris Voss approved. Really like the phones, and the quality is definitely there. So be sure to check them out. Be sure to also check out, we're hopefully going to be doing some comparison videos of their phones, comparing with some of the other phones that are in their marketplace. Thanks for coming by the chrisvossshow.com. Be sure to subscribe to our channels, and be sure to come back often. Thanks for coming by.